Good evening, everyone. Welcome to ZSR2, where we have another Crosskeys match tonight. It's Koi versus Flipheal, a 5-0 versus a 4-1 match. I got, who do I got over here? Blank, an arm, tracking, no, coming. They're coming, I'm tracking. They're coming, they're going to talk. I'm not, because I can't do it, clearly. So we can get over there.
Well, thank you, Tom. Arm, it seems like it's going to be a great race. We are, this is the last race of this week. Are you excited?
Yeah. Just to give some background on the players, this is the one pair down match between Koi sitting undefeated and Flip with a single loss. Both pretty great players. Koi, obviously, very prolific streamer, tournament player. Flipheal, very prolific NMG player. Also was in the brackets of last year's Crosskeys tournament, losing to Ramon in the round of 16. Koi, undefeated. Flip's only loss is to Humbug, who is also sitting at a single loss right now. So, both pretty scary opposition, and really deciding here, whether they'll both sort of be right there on the cusp of making the play-in race, or potentially just a straight shot to the bracket. Or in Koi's case, the win would solidify a position to at least be in the play-in race, with two shots at just locking up the bracket from there.
Wow, you definitely came in with a lot of good notes. I did not have a history of their races, but yes, Koi and Flipheal are both fighting for that, at least that guarantee to be in the finals, or the race, the 6-2 race, as I like to call it. I don't know. Do you have a better name for it?
The big disaster. I don't know. As long as there's not mirror on Pyramid Ledge this year, it can only get more exciting, right? Anyways,
we had a Pearl on one, a race I watched not too long ago, and that was a hoot and a holler of a good time.
yeah, Crosskeys, always good for some really exciting stuff. All the entrances shuffled across the worlds, all the items shuffled, including all the big keys, small keys, maps, compasses, all the everything. Players starting out with nothing and kind of just mapping the world out from there on their own. We'll start getting to some discussion of all the fun quirks, like forced connectors and all that other fun stuff as the players run into them, and it looks like we are off. We have a split of starts, Sank versus Link's House, and
we got a nice heart container on Koi's side out of Link's House, and he's gonna, looks like he's gonna do the classic Houlihan.
Yep. And Flip, digging for bombs in CAC to go with the Sank, finds a granny connector going from town to Dark World.
Dark Sank.
And we're done there.
Well, with Sanctuary being in Kakariko Village, there's a lot of good entrances to take from there, and it wouldn't surprise me to see them take more connectors, with the fact that they can restart right back there in Kakariko.
Yeah, and Flip just going to be a little bit behind on this exact same Houlihan here. Just, okay, I want the resources. I want to go back to town with my money for Bottle Vendor. Let's just keep doing this. And both players trying to line up that 1 pixel for that fake flipper on both sides. Koi fake flipper cycle ahead, but Flip catching up very quickly. Next drop down revealed to be the thief at the normal useless berry. Rather useless here, to be fair, as well. I think that the time to go through this again for that heart is probably a lot. Yep, and Koi just going straight for the Houlihan.
Which is a smart play, because we're going to find plenty of hearts along the way.
Yep.
So, for those who are watching this for the first time, this is a Crosskeys tournament. Crosskeys is a mode where entrances have been randomized, as well as key sanity and item randomization. There is a... Oh, actually, somebody got the bot to do it. Man, I wish I could read that. Entrances are shuffled so that, your entrance could lead you to the dark world. And it is week 6 of this tournament, and it has been a nail biter on some of these races.
Koi going to the castle, looking at a third drop down, but finding another connector that I'm pretty sure is just going to be the next thing that you just kind of slam your face into and hope for the best on.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, bombs picked up from the tree pole. I have not counted exactly what tier that is. Ganon at the castle, notably through a weird quirk of logic, that means that this connector is not in logic until the players find Master Sword or a mirror, because you either need to be able to damage Ganon to the point that you can fall through, or in theory, if you have killed Aga, mirror from Dark World to get to this entrance. The game locks you out, so Koi ends up on the mountain doing a little bit of exploring. That's a Turtle Rock entrance we won't have to worry about.
Absolutely, and it gives him a chance to check a couple of these in case there's a item that's just hanging around, such as I believe King's Tomb, or not King's Tomb, Hammer Pegs.
It's a good item that is technically out of logic, but hanging around. And that's a castle tower we're not going to see for a little bit, probably.
Fair enough.
Flip taking the opportunity with that tree pole to load up on bombs. Flip is... tree pulling again? And slamming on through.
Looks like we're going to get the bunny drop over on Koi's side.
Yep. And now, this is sort of interesting, again, to speak to the way the game lays out the logic. You are not in logic able to open these chests, but because of the Super Bunny glitch, where after you've fallen down a hole in Bunny State, you have Super Bunny State where you can do a few things that Link can normally do, like open chests, pick up pots.
Move rocks.
That's true. Yep. So Koi can technically open those, but the game does not expect you to be able to, unless this exit is in the light world. But we didn't get anything of note, so a little bit of trivia.
Well, and what?
Oh,
that's
nice.
So that normally you would be right where that entrance bring you from the light world, but I don't think now it does work for that logic.
You can technically double. You can double on back in from standing on that little lip there. Koi testing out which dark room is it
without moving any blocks.
Because you'll be Link coming out, but I'm interested to see what dark room this ends up being. Based on the amount of time that Koi has spent in it, I am guessing it's Old Man, and trying to head right up the mountain from here. But we might get a better idea when Flip finds it with a few more bombs to expend on navigating.
It was Old Man's Cave. Or Old Man Rescue.
Yep. So Koi now up on the mountain.
Leaving a tip for the rescue.
Ooh, okay. That is an interesting entrance for later, the bottom of Paradox Cave.
It is, and now when we find Paradox in other places, it checks off a, hey.
It also sort of means that you are likely to have access to the mountain that the game actually expects you to do, which is not walking through that wonderful little dark room.
Mm-hmm.
Because any of the paradoxes could take you there. Light world, dark world, you can kind of walk through as a bunny or as Link.
So this gives us also pod over on Koi's side, which I'm sure that Flip is going to find here in just a few moments.
Yeah, basically the exact same routing on both players, with Flip having a little bit of a head start into CAC, and Koi having a little bit of a head start everywhere else. Koi opting not for the Mimic clip on the right side, which is totally reasonable. It's kind of a gnarly trick, and it's just spending a bunch of time on a bow locked right side that you don't necessarily have to right now.
Well, and with so much stuff left to do, getting Sphere 1 things knocked out of the way, even though these are potentially still locked behind some sort of logic item that we don't have yet, with so much left to do, wasting time on Mimic Clip is probably not cohesive.
Okay, so that is a flute hanging up there. So as soon as you get a mirror, you would like to be up here. This probably means that knowing where your old man saving quits are is a priority. Koi electing to leave the dark entrances for later, rather than reclimb up the mountain and potentially find something that you just have to come on back to. Front of Old Man is the other side of the mountain.
It is at the mountain, and the dam is right next door.
Okay.
The most important map you can find.
Yeah.
Maps do serve a purpose in this game, or in this mode, with the exception of that map and another one in particular. They do tell you what is crystals and what is pendants.
Yep, because this is still a 7 crystal to defeat Ganon mode, which means that you don't have to do any of the pendant stuff unless chat's favorite thing happens in this seed. It looks like Flip is going to be giving us a first peek at those dark entrances up here. Koi cleans out this area over here.
Oh, you fed chat. Now I'm hearing the ped chant.
Ooh, that's a nice 300 to pick up. Even if you've Houlihaned, finding like an early 300 means that you have pretty easy access to Zora, depending on what your fake flipper items that you pick up are. Koi checking the back of DM. Yep, one useless entrance that Flip will never have to come back to, the wonderful arrow game. And, oh, okay.
Desert.
Oh, we're not taking the Death Warp in there. Interesting. Okay.
That is an interesting choice, because even being able to just look through one of those other entrances could tell you whether or not there's a Light World connection.
Yeah, it's a decent amount of health, 4 hearts, but yeah, okay. So Koi finding Old Man saving quit lower side of CAC, so coming from the opposite direction and finding Hookshot Cave, and Flip cleaning up the back of Escape with those bombs.
And
you got a Hyrule
Koi
Castle.
Also getting the Hyrule Castle.
Yep. No, I mean, you could bomb Escape. You don't want to. Oh, okay.
Wow.
Well, we have a new priority for this whole seed, which is find the mirror or find the connector that leads you there.
That mirror became extra useful. Now the boots are potentially locked behind it, and the flute is definitely locked behind it. Bottle vendor giving out a rebate. And Saha has a glove in his closet.
And a key to Misery Mire. Nice convenient early key. Some little item caves here. We're going to get the full picture of CAC before either of these runners ends up finding the end of it. You know, just kind of split the difference. And the bombs are here all along, Flip.
And
a little low on that
locked behind. Well is locked behind the hammer.
Hammer or some really weird stuff with the mirror and a connector. Yeah, the fun, wonderful thing that no one ever thinks about until it happens to them. The old hammerless magic bat, for those who are more familiar with other modes. Okay, we have the other side of Hookshot Cave. Flip gonna use a bomb here and then regret the decision later. Hype Cave. Okay, what do we got? Okay, at this point, a time loss. Oh, Flip gonna go with a spicy play here, stealing the desert key.
Wow, Johnny Two Bombs has nothing to give us.
So, yeah, that's the 5 item caves are always so hit or miss. You know, there's a lot of dead stuff in the item pool for them to fill up with, but they're also the most likely place to find something that is actually useful.
Very true. I mean, just the sheer numbers, especially when there's such an early sphere of being able to access.
Flip doing the thing I have been traumatized not to do in checking sick kid's house before the back of tavern. You only need one time for your boots to be in the back of tavern because it's the assured item, and then walk into a dungeon where you then spend 3 minutes not running when you walk into the top. I don't know, like Eastern Palace. And then you do it the other way every other time. But, you know, until that happens to you, you do things the efficient way and save a second. Oh, Flip is indecision time. Because
he stole that key.
Yep, exactly. So, sort of interesting, he does have like a little bit of incentive to kind of loop back here, because he wants to, like, that will cut off the last of the desert connectors because he's already seen the middle. And then he can double back in and have like a pretty clean save scum. So that's a pretty good setup for him, unless I guess we've already found the one place where the right side of desert would spit you that you'd be really excited about, which would be the mountain at this point in the game. And I guess Flip hasn't found the right side of the mountain, but he will very shortly. Boy, sort of just
and so
rounding
we're
out
getting really a whole good big picture view of what we're going to have coming out of Kakariko. The question now, so with Flipheal taking that one connector with the old lady, which dropped him off at Dark Sanctuary, didn't really come up with much, but where did he find Ether at?
Ether was just in the Sank chest that Koi will immediately check after this save and quit.
Right, he hasn't started at Sank yet. That's right.
Yep.
So it's interesting that two of the entrances for Hookshot are basically Kakariko.
Yep. So I think the thing that's really interesting to me here is that Flip has a secret important piece of knowledge here that Koi will probably get as soon as it becomes relevant, but now that he knows those boots are there, he also knows where to get into Dark World with the mirror to get those boots because of that Granny connector.
That's
and
true.
Flip leaving the Hyrule Castle in favor of, I presume, going back to Desert, makes sense because doing Bomb Escape, kind of janky. Only one of the items is in logic right now because the other is going to be locked by that Hyrule Castle, or the other two are going to be locked by that Hyrule Castle small key. And then the fourth is going to be locked by Lamp in order to walk to Dark Cross, because Crosskeys logic is a little more specific and does require the lamp for all dark rooms. No knowledge of where all the torches are or anything like that. And Flip, actually not even going for Desert, just heading on north and continuing the route out of town.
Indeed. I think the key might be more of a better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it kind of thing.
Yeah. That's a reasonable way to play the key steal, is just have it, and then if the game presents the exact opportunity where it's good, go ahead. The only reason I find this north route kind of interesting is because we have found the well, and one of the one item drops. The remaining value of the drops is slightly lower.
This was the one drop that they still needed to find that has an item.
Well, Uncle has two,
right now.
and could be anywhere on this route. Oh,
that's
okay.
True. I forgot about Uncle.
We do have mitts, so nothing we can really do with those just yet, but we're going to be cruising on later with quick Dark World access from that Sank save and quit.
And nothing at the top of the forest. And we've really kind of lined back up here.
Yep. Flip has not seen right side of the mountain. Koi has not followed some connectors. And yep, Uncle here. So we are, we found Pig. What do we got? Magic Bat or Useless Fairy at the Sank.
And then whichever one it isn't is at the top of the pyramid.
Yeah, so is the GG climb bad or really bad today? That's the question.
Oof. Well, I will say, that's probably the best place to have Uncle.
Yes.
And considering some of the exits we've seen, with the exception of maybe not being able to find a sword to go through that center entrance at the top of the tower, Aga's looking pretty safe. Like he might survive this seed.
Yep, and both players just kind of cut it. Well, they know where this goes on the bottom side because they just found it. So they're probably just peeking the item, and I would guess they both save and quit from here.
Oh, it looks like he's going to jump across, and Flip's doing the same.
Getting a little bit of out of logic info. Okay, that's fair. Okay, well, we're over here now.
We're going to call it in logic info, now.
Yep.
And this is a really good opportunity for them to get Eastern because they've already got the glove.
Yep, the nice and slightly faster route. I believe it's, I guess it's probably way faster if you're coming from right side already. but it's a few seconds faster to go this way, even if you're walking the normal, slow, and boring way. So Eastern Palace, one of the worst Light World entrances, going to be something we never have to come back to, thankfully. And so, sort of scanning the map of what both of our players have left, it looks to me like it's going to be a question of how they split South Shore. Whether they choose to, like, clear everything up and head most of the way left. I guess they have already found the desert exit, so they probably just go left and then sweep back right and just do it in a single trip, because you don't have to walk all the way to Agina if you've already been there.
More than likely, yeah.
Okay.
Hera bombs. That's. I mean, the hard part is we've not found a lot that gives more progression. Like, we found the mitts, but the mitts alone, it's a tough sell. And Koi just locks himself in.
Really? Oh no!
That's such a hard. Oh.
I will be honest, I've never had that happen to me, so I don't know the way out. But good news is we're missing just a mediocre map that we'll get later. Not a big deal.
Well, the way out isn't that bad unless you have something like blue mail, which currently our runners are wearing blue mail.
Koi cleaning up these lake entrances along with Flip, just more of the same. We will see what is on the island. A good map. The map that probably saves you the walk to the boss that takes the longest to get to. That or Mire. Those are the two really scary maps. Most of the other ones, it's kind of, if you get them, it's nice. If you don't get them, you'll kill the boss, and what happens, happens. Those two are the ones where, if you know the boss in advance, everything gets a lot easier. Koi looks like gonna fix that little oopsie and get that item out of Hera with this walk over this way. Flip gonna be able to save and quit and get started on South Shore.
Let's see what direction he goes. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, with what's left on the map, I mean.
So the interesting thing to me is that I don't think we saw Flip check the old man save and quit.
We got another 5-item cave.
Yeah, it's a good one.
$20, excellent. A map of Thievestown. Some bombs, excellent. $20 more.
Listen, we're approaching Zora real quick, so anything helps.
$5. You know, it's interesting because these are items that actually make sense for the location that it is. Like, with it being Blind's Hut, I imagine he would have stashed away money and, you know, the treasure map for his hideout.
That does make a lot of sense here. And Flip saving quitting out versus Koi walking out, I have no idea which one is faster, but it's a lot of screens either way. So, dam entrance is Ice Palace. We will be back for that eventually.
Oh, chat making a good point. We met Saha, and he told us which one Pod is.
Gotcha. That's too much reading for comms. Comms talks and looks. Reading is a whole independent process.
Bro, I'm thinking you have two eyes that are not associated with each other the way you can watch both streams as well as you do. My compliments.
I just have the shortcuts that when someone walks into an entrance that doesn't matter, I just look away for 5 seconds and turn back eventually. And that's a big key to desert on Flip's side, so a little more reason to go back through and just cleaning up the left side of everything, whereas Koi is getting the right entrances here, Ice Rod Cave and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And yep, Flip making this trek over to desert, gonna pick up 2 item peaks. Okay, what do we got here? I actually have to read this.
Wow, Turtle Rock and Mire.
2 pretty deep ones, and that's a crystal desert too on Flip side. This is the other ferry with well, we're gonna have a lot of info today. We've already got maps
that's a
to
map to
Eastern,
Skull,
Skull.
yeah.
Just know everything we can. And Koi restocking on bombs. There we go. That's that Moon Pearl. So it's a simple matter of going over to one of those entrances on the way to desert with the desert big, going back to desert itself, getting your pearl, and both players will have access to basically the whole world with those myths. Well, with those myths and a little bit of trickery.
The gloves only go up to the wrist, or the mitts only go up to the wrist. You gotta apply your own elbow grease.
Yeah. So we are going to see where this right side of desert kicks us out. Do not touch that door, Flip.
It's tempting.
And well, yeah, okay. Well, I have a feeling that this desert small key is gonna be something that kind of sits forever in Flip's inventory. Yep, old man.
We hadn't checked Sanctuary yet, correct?
The drop, nope. So that's the magic bat or useless fairy 50/50.
Man, I'm surprised he didn't go stop there. Just with magic bat or drop fairy, it wouldn't matter. He wouldn't be able to get the item, so I can see why he would pass that up.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that either way you aren't going to be climbing Ganon's Tower anytime soon. So we are, yep, here we go. So Koi's going to get the Moon Pearl here as well. Probably going to pop out of this other useless connector. Flip the players have basically done the same thing, and Flip just kind of giving back the time here that Koi spent on these exact same entrances. This is the 300 that put Koi at Zora money. Flip has ignored a 5 rupee somewhere along the way. How disrespectful. Players are otherwise synced up, but Flip does get to pick up another 3 entrances here that I guess he's seen 2 of them, so only 1 entrance. So this is
mitts.
Yep. And with nothing
entrance that was absolutely needed to check off.
Yep, we do have fast access back to Castle Tower at any time we want. We do not want now because we are pretty unable to end up killing those guards with bombs. I don't remember the exact details, but I think with 10 bombs, it's something where like you have to double hit the guards with each bomb. It's something absolutely disgusting. Flip heading back down this way, picking up that peek at that wonderfully useless compass, and it looks like just getting these other entrances out of the way. Koi pretty happy to find Dark Death Mountain here and just get these entrances that were left behind earlier out of the way, even if they are nothing.
Mm-hmm. Well, and those were all entrances that, even though he has the Moon Pearl, aren't significant, correct?
Yeah, Desert Main, and I want to say this is the archery game with our 700 rupees that are not going to matter, right. And Flip probably walking over to some equally insignificant other entrances. Yeah, Allison pointing out that the Castle Tower one is not in logic because the game developers are gracious and not horrific. You need a weapon in order to kill those. It does not expect you to land perfect bomb hits. Thank you to Synac and Vtorp and everyone, or Amazing Ampharos, I believe. Thank you to all of them involved in that exact decision.
Thank you to the entire mod setup, yeah.
Yeah, they you know, if you look deep in the code, there's some stuff that they actually care about the players. There's I believe it's like a shout out to the people who had to play a specific seed for the reason that any starting Enemizer seed that has the standard escape and requires a sword. There's all sorts of fun stuff you can find if you look at the source code. Flip taking a chance to gander at the fact that Eastern is also a crystal. Then it looks like we're going to see... I don't know if this is going to be Zora or getting the 2 lake entrances out of the way. There's the NMG chop showing up. This is the NMG way to set up Fake Flipper. Koi dipping into Skull Woods, which is also a crystal.
and getting us prepared for Turtle Rock.
Yep.
That small key will get us through at least one door.
Oh, that is a nice out-of-logic bow for Flip to pick up here. Actually, that's an exceptional out-of-logic bow, because that means that Zora Ledge is out-of-logic accessible with Splash Delete. I'm not sure I've encountered this before. This is a new difficult trick of how do I swim out of Checkerboard Cave. Wasn't sure that I had ever thought about that before, but it looks horrible.
I didn't realize that the bow was like would pop you out of your walking.
Any freestanding item pickup will do that. It's very common to see when Zora pops out the item and you pick it up and then you start swimming instead of water walking. That's the really common application of it, as opposed to whatever that nonsense was. Koi going the sort of long route to get this borrowed small key to go get the other assured small key in the back chest of Skull. This is the logical small key off of Zora, takes us to Ice Palace.
Ice Palace.
Very weird small key for logic, but I would not worry too much about that just yet, because we can't even get in. Very clean Splash Delete there.
What an excellent Splash Delete.
And what is our illegally obtained small key here? We've got Ganon's Tower. That's really interesting to note for later, that Ganon's Tower... There's a lot of stuff in Ganon's Tower that is buried behind a large number of small keys, just because the dungeon's layout is weird, and it looks like Flip following up on the exact same. But the fact that all of those deep things could be flipper locked is pretty interesting to think about for some later stuff. Though we have crossed off a lot of potential crystal pendants without Swamp Palace information being known. Flip just ignoring Skull to start and just popping into Village of Outcasts.
And Brewery keeps key.
Yeah, we're not... That's the second one, and I have a feeling we're not going to use that. But, unless the really weird thing happens, but... Okay. There is that aforementioned Swamp Palace.
It's easy enough spot to get to. Flip getting to some more of the thieves.
Ooh, okay, this is a good
All
find.
Right. This is another 5 item.
Yep. 5 items and a relatively easy way back up the mountain compared to what we had. I would rather do this than... Okay, that's a good sword.
Hey, now we can worry about Castle Tower.
Yes. Yeah, and it's in logic because we found it via the what connector brought us up there. Oh wait, no, that's weirdly not in logic. This is the whole thing where the connector is locked by Ganon, and the other connector up there is lamp locked. So Castle Tower probably soon, but not urgent. And that small key to Skull is actually really nice for Flip because it means that he'll be able to do the front and not necessarily have to go all the way to the back and then do the whole double back thing.
Mm-hmm. And we've got that big Tamire.
Yep. No access to that dungeon yet, but once we do have it, we can clear out everything but the... Well, we don't have a fire source for the rest of it.
And we found a TR entrance.
The sick kid hanging out in town. And this is sort of an interesting micro decision on Koi's side. It's whether you spend the time killing this Pokey or just burn your first TR key here, assuming that the odds that you need a ton of them is relatively low due to the fun and exciting ways that Turtle Rock works in Entrance Shuffle.
Yes, the logic in this in particular is mind-numbing at certain points.
Yeah. And just the fact that you can walk in any of the entrances a lot of the time sort of makes it so that you don't have to use all the small keys in the way you normally would, coming in the front, going all the way through. Usually you can get away with one for Trinex, and then one or maybe two on a bad day to traverse the rest. So Koi just burning that.
Hey,
If you need it.
Flipheal
Ooh,
catches the hook shot on the dig.
that's really good and is a reason to rush back to Hookshot Cave after he finishes this south loop.
I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of hoping for the mirror there, just so that they would be able to instantly get their boots.
Flip, 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 flip. You gonna take this Smith all the way back over to Eastern area? I guess actually you might with this hookshot. That's actually something I hadn't considered. Pulling that hookshot is the reason you do this, because the Smith is right next to Tower of Hera that you can Herapot your way up now. The second Ice Palace small key. Still doesn't mean anything until we get the big key, but it does mean that, in theory, the boss is not King of Samaria locked.
Okay.
Yeah,
agree with that. Yeah, for sure.
Ice Palace logic, it's weird. Just does stuff.
I will say, of all the logics, it's the TR key logic that throws me most of the time, because it's about what entrances are available from what world is determining how many keys are for what, and it fries my brain.
It's complicated and just weird sometimes. For example, this middle chest is with the shield that we saw Koi pick up earlier is locked by 4 TR small keys every single time. Flip actually going for this fight, which is kind of an obnoxious one, but pulling it off pretty good. And I think the difference is that Flip walked into this dungeon on 2-hit KO to Pokies. Actually 3-hit, and Koi had much less margin on that and didn't want to get involved there. Oh, that is a good point. Flip had just picked that up. Smith entering stuff. So, Smith does weird things in Crosskeys compared to normal modes. Normal modes, it's just because of the idea that in Crosskeys, you don't know what entrance is which from the light world, so it'd be really weird for the Smith to restrict you the way it normally does, where it locks you out of, like, entering dungeons or, like, multi-exit things, because those are not where they're supposed to be. The only thing with the Smith is that you can take it anywhere up until the point that another follower would spawn. Which means that if you walk into the front of the old man rescue, or the back somehow, you will have a follower appear and it will disappear. If you kill a crystal, there's actually the cutscene where the maiden appears in the vanilla game that's been cut.
That crystal is following you.
Yep, that crystal is a follower, so the Smith will disappear, but not on pendants. If you walk into the basement of Thieves Town, where the maiden that lines up with Koi's sprite tends to live, that also deletes the Smith, as well as a few other weird things. But it also prevents some like really weird lockouts in Crosskeys, where like you would have to like go around the world and find the Smith thing to return it. It's way better this way. I cannot tell you how many times I've been playing in normal mode and then like tried to walk the Smith somewhere that I can't because I forget about this, but that's another reason this is good. Flip
well,
gonna
and
save and quit.
I knew that the Smith disappeared, but because of how much I watch Crosskeys more than any other version, I honestly had no idea you could not take him into a dungeon.
Yep, vanilla, you are not allowed to do that. You can drop into holes with the Smith in a normal randomizer, but you can't walk in the front door of the dungeon. There's some weird Skullwood stuff that comes up, but thankfully, again, we're not going to worry about any of that as Flip turns in the Smith and is, I believe, doing this first, potentially before Hera, in order to potentially have the Hera big key, or could just be leaving Hera behind, honestly. When I mentioned earlier that Flip had lost a Humbug, that decision on when to go up Hera was what burned him that race, so he may have that sort of lingering in the back of his mind, and yep, we're going to leave that Hera right behind.
That's you know, with that being the thing that determined that humbug race, it's interesting that he left it behind. It shows his level of consistency as a player.
Yep. And it's relatively easy to come back to, especially because we have no knowledge about whether it's a crystal or pendant, so there's no need to even necessarily rush it, as opposed to rushing this in-logic hookshot cave that Flip is walking on over to right now. I guess,
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I guess the other thing to point out is that this is a great time for Flip to dive into Hyrule Castle, and maybe knock out those checks before it gets too inconvenient to Death Warp. Okay, so
There we go. We've got some light.
and a shovel. Do we go do the shovel and double back to Hyrule Castle? Looks like at least the first part of that's what's happening. Koi just kind of taking the south route to this exact same check with that hookshot, it looks like.
I gotta say, the hookshot cave. Yeah, we got the big key out of Meyer from that other one. But like as far as 5-item rooms go, I think hookshot cave was our only big yet. Like, granted, the extra 2 chests from Paradox gave us a sword, but as far as like 5-item chests or 5-item rooms, I think this was our only big one.
Looks like the trackers are filling us in on a crystal for Hera here, with that map from the shovel. So Light World, all crystals. We now know 6. Mutually, not the runners, but us. We now know 6 of the 7 crystals, and we know that the last one is one of Swamp, Thieves Town, and Ice Palace, I believe. And we have the map to Thieves Town.
We do have the map to Thieves Town. I know we popped into Swamp, but I don't think we have the map for it, so it didn't give us the little letter in the upper left-hand corner.
It looks like we are... Koi is going back through the connector at the castle to try and pick up this glove-locked entrance that was not accessible to them earlier in the game. This is the normal hookshot cave entrance.
Right.
Flip is just sort of continuing through the slog that is the basement of escape. Okay,
Hey,
Meyer
Meyer key.
locked behind the Hyrule Castle small, so we will see if Flip... a little bit of fun with layers there. And I guess Koi also gets to pick up Castle Tower here because we're in Dark World, why not?
We have a weapon, we have a light source. It does put it logically in play.
Yep.
And we've got Ether, which makes things a little bit easier when coming through here on a fighter sword.
Here's the fun part. Does Koi... Yep, Koi knows the strat. You throw one at the other, and then, there we go. Flip taking a very arduous death warp out of the back here.
And our stun prize is a full magic refill.
That is really nice. Is that the same stun prize on Ether as it is?
It was Sankheart in the first chest.
Okay, that's... Flip, you good there? Oh, he, perfect timing to bio break there. And small key to
Another
Turtle
small
Rock.
PR.
Okay. That doesn't mean anything to us right now. It looks like Flip is gonna get some exits checked rather than doing Dark Cross here, it looks like. Or potentially checking the exits and then doing Dark Cross last. Oh, this is probably trying to set himself up for Dark World state so that the enemies in the back of escape here in the dark rooms deal real amounts of damage for the death warp.
Cricket damage as opposed to rat damage. So for those who don't know, if you come into an area from the Dark World, there are certain creatures like rats and crickets that share a damage level. And so if you come into an area that has rats, but you come in from the Dark World, they do Dark World damage. Whereas if you go into something like Thieves Town with from the Light World, you'll get that same thing in reverse, where crickets do rat damage, which is significantly lower.
Yep. Koi is... Oh! Okay, so we got a big key to Swamp Palace. Okay.
Swamp, all right.
Koi using a little bit of brain power here and coming up with a really interesting thing that we actually have this side of Dark World in logic because of the 2 Castle Tower smalls that we have right now. Because we could, in theory, go kill Aga to get to the pyramid, to get to all of this stuff over here. So he is rushing that logic.
Big brain play.
Flip knocking out a couple of useless entrances.
Koi always throws that chicken. Kuko. Sorry.
You know.
How dare I think they're chickens?
Yep. And we will see if on the way back here, Koi goes for the fake flipper. Or I guess real flipper. We have... fake flipper, yes. The fact that Flip has this bow that is out of logic is throwing me here. So Flip finding the back of Old Man here. Nothing new going on with that. What does Catfish have today? It looks like Flip is going to be cleaning up this castle tower right here.
Small 4, Dark Palace, Pot Smalls.
Okay. So that potentially sends us back for some gray items. I guess it's kind of terrible to get back there. And
Flip gets that Sank heart. The Sanctuary heart, I think, is one of my favorite little tidbits. Where if you pick up a full heart container, it just gives you a heart. But that one heart container that gets randomized in with everything refills your hearts. And as somebody who doesn't race and only watches and commentates and whatnot, there is no greater taste than the tears of a racer who is trying to death warp and picks up the Sank heart.
Oh yeah. You want to know the other fun secret heart? Crosskeys places a specific heart container in Logic that is supposed to put the Meyer Spike Chest in Logic. It is unclear at any given time which that is. That is a map of Swamp Palace, though. So there are 2 special heart containers in Crosskeys. One of them is just a little more special than the other.
One of them is visually special, where you can see it, and the other is special on the inside.
Yes, that is a great way to describe it. Flip finally clearing out this Skull Woods as Koi traverses the rest of the Dark World.
Well, and even having not gone to Zora, you know, these runners both have enough money to do virtually everything that they're going to need to do.
That's
be able to pay off Kiki right here.
Yeah, that's a medium bad spot for the mushroom turn in, but I guess we do know where the flute is, so we'll get it sooner rather than later. Unless things go very bad.
Hey,
that is a Ganon's Tower. Well, can't really do a ton here. Gonna steal this small. Where are we taking that? We don't have the ability to go further on the right side. I do think this is a spot where you're like, there's a debate among a lot of players about whether you peek the torch. This is a spot where you're obligated to take a look at it, just because getting back here is so gross. Oh no, is that the Desert Small, the real one? And you are, what, logically required to come all the way over here for that that actual Desert Small that you could have stolen way earlier?
Absolutely factual.
Could also be the bottle for the We
The
see
sick
Sick
kid,
Kid.
which we saw him in Village of Outcasts.
Ooh, gross.
I think we did.
That sounds right.
I watched a seed earlier in the day, and now it's gonna have me question everything that oh, this thing is here. No, it's not. It was in this seed that I watched earlier. I try not to watch when I'm gonna be dealing with a race later. But kiddo had a nap, and so I was like, well, I'm gonna put something on.
Yeah, Crosskeys is the seed bleed is real if you don't have like, especially with two players and trying to track everything at once. Oh, here we go. This is the back of TR.
So none of this would be in logic until we have either the third tier mirror or if we have an invincibility item.
Correct. Okay,
As
that's a Ganeth Tower big key. We are. Hey,
and the Hera small.
yeah, don't want to see either of those right now. Notably, we have between the runners all the items to do the GT climb, except for a fire source. They're just all very out of logic. Like that is that's invulnerability locked. The bow is flipper locked. Just like kind of gross stuff. I'm guessing Flip is going to use this to double back and get the purple chest.
You know, that bow threw me off again, just like it threw you off earlier. He popped into swamp and
here's the fire source, yeah.
Flip popped into swamp, and I was like, oh, well, he used that bow to get, or he has that bow. He got it with flipper stuff. And I was like, why didn't he go, check that first chest? And nope, doesn't actually have the flippers.
Yep. Koi gonna give us the first crystal of the match with this lamp, and well, I'm glad Clear Mouse is not here to see a player going into land mows. Perfect spot to do bow land mows, but they are not the one with the bow. They are going to be Koi is going to be the one doing fighter sword land mows, which is it's maybe some mix with bombs. Flip not doubling back, just continuing on. Same logical, oh, I can get over here as Koi had. Just going to be a little bit behind on all these checks over here.
Well, and at least, this Lambo's fight is supposed to be fought with fighter sword.
Yes.
So it's not like a super difficult addition.
Yeah, it's not horrible. It's just speedrun horrible, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's, what, 8 slashes per? Because it's half an arrow, and, yeah, 8 slashes for each of these. So 24 hits across the 3 land mows. They are down. We have the first crystal. Koi has done all that work for 10 arrows, but, again, crystal, very important.
And we are 50 minutes in with 50 seconds on the clock to giving us our first crystal.
Yeah, sub-hour crystal, really hard to complain about that in any seed, really. Just booking that out here.
Now the question is, where is Koi going to go now? One of those one-shot checks that always, he's going to go check the key that he picked up.
Yep, this is just, what did we find following our in logic? Oh, Flip is, I don't think we saw Koi do these. This is the fake flipper, yet again. Trying to use the iframes to get to this bridge as fast as possible so that the bombers don't accidentally pop you off of all of that stuff. Dying there is very bad. Don't die while fake flippering in this game. It will mess you up real good. You will be sitting around wondering where Link's sprite is for a while.
At the mirror.
And then... Oh, there we go. That is progression. Flip has found Eastern Palace, and let's see, is Zelda-san in chat to provide the required emote for what Flip has done? Let's see, is Flip going into Eastern? Oh, nope, can't even ask for that. This is the honestly, it is so far away from anything to get to the Eastern that the fact that it's out of logic and all this is, I don't think Flip cares. Just get the items done now and don't come back and regret it later.
Hope hope you have a big key somewhere in here, kind of thing.
Yeah, we do have the bow. That's the first bottle on Flip's side? Because he has not found the one in GT yet. Koi gonna go put this mirror to good use. See, what do we got? We've got Graveyard Ledge that we don't really want to go to. We could do... Oh, we got the boots that we left. We're just going to these boots right now. That's what we've been waiting on for the last 15 minutes. Very easy to forget between everything else, but this mirror is gonna get Koi running start
kid
here.
On the way, you got to go get that kid's allowance. It's a must. You can't let him have $20 or else he'll spend it on all sorts of weird medicines.
Just wanted to take a peek at your bottle, you know? It's just what he's doing in that bed all day. Anyone's best guess, but
he's playing Link's Awakening on the Game Boy.
It's definitely a fine sick day activity. And now the boots advantage timer is going to start ticking. It's what, about a minute of time saved every 10. Yep, 54 even. So Koi is building up that time advantage here. Also the mirror too, which is, I guess, the fact that they're linked this seed is pretty heavy-handed.
Well, and the fact that mirror will potentially give us the flute.
Yeah, that's true. How are we getting up there on Koi's side? We have desert access there. The Paradox Cave back in town is actually our best way to do that. Where is Koi taking this mirror?
He's probably going to go check the bonk rocks.
Taking the boots, yep.
Maybe the shovel, too.
No, you already got that because that was the Hera key. Yeah, I'm going to turn around and do that. Flip, walking out of Eastern with approximately an Eastern's worth of nothing.
Hey, and double bonk rocks giving us double nothing.
Well, there is that connector that Koi is going to turn around and not follow? Okay. I may have missed us seeing the other side of, that is DM Descent. Flip turning right around and kicking it back to the in-logic checks. Scary bomb toss from Latinox. I don't think that can hit you, but I don't want to find out.
That was a really good connector use for Koi. He came out on the out of Turtle Rock. Yep.
We're gonna do all the mirrorable stuff up here, which is
Moldorm Cave.
Koi a little too slow to whip out the ether on that, so just going the tried and true sword slash way.
I believe Koi is one of the few racers that doesn't do quick swap.
That's true. Thieves Town is our other pendant, it looks like. Or is one of our other pendants. I didn't catch a swamp peak on that. Swamp is a crystal, so that means ice is our last pendant. If I can count. I count 7 known crystals and 3 known pendants. Very important things. Gil boots were on race game. Both players have known about them for about 45 minutes, and it was just a matter of once you get the mirror, that's where you have to go.
And they've also known where the flutes have been this whole time, or where the flute has been this whole time. It's just without the mirror, that was knowledge that was going to get you. Ooh, he almost talked to that pink puff.
That pink puff has a wonderful story to tell you, and this is also going to be the pickup of the Palace of Darkness checks that we have not done, a couple of them.
So, mirror is in right side desert.
Yep. and this is going to be the Desert Big Key, or Small Key, which Flip technically could have done a long time ago with the Stolen Desert Key, but because Desert was in CAC next to the Landmo boss entrance, but Flip elected to not follow that through early and just kind of said, I stole the key, we'll just deal with it later.
And interesting enough here, without having snuck the bow, making this an out of logic check, he's instead going to use the potion to make his way past the mimic room, making this a yet another out of logic check for a different reason.
Yep, good old potion camera unlock. And I'm guessing that this is also Koi going to be taking this second pod small key all the way to the back. So we'll get another 5 checks out of this? 6 actually, because we have not yet opened the bridge chest. We just did things sort of efficiently. Interesting thing on Flip side. Oh, that's a fire rod. Okay. What does Fire Rod open up for us? Goldwood's back entrance, which no one wants to think about, and then...
It is also a fire source for when we go through Ganon.
True. We do have the lamp, but we do have both now. Yep, this is the terrible back of Turtle Rock.
I can't think of anything else that currently with what we have is fire locked.
We have Ice Palace. But I guess we had access to that with Bombos for a while anyway.
Actually,
not
we don't
Bombos,
have
no
Bombos.
Bombos.
Yeah,
we have the other 2 medallions, not quite. Yep. So,
is
yep,
hilarious.
This Fire Rod is...
I was doing the same mental thing. I was like, oh yeah, we have Quake right here. And in my head, I was calling it Bombos.
Yeah, one of those little coins. Flip gonna go through this exact same ordeal that Koi did a little bit ago, where he's gonna kill Landmo, he's gonna get the mirror, he's gonna rush his way back. Oh, wrong hut. Very common mistake to make. The back of pod.
A TR key.
Yep, so TR is pretty deep in logic here. Or, well, the prize of TR, because that's what is generally 4 key locked here. Well, it depends on where TR main is. That could be another thing that is 4 key locked as well.
And with that flute, we now have the capacity to get into the mire area, which we haven't seen through any of our connectors.
Yeah, we do have full access to the mire area now. I'm guessing that is where Koi is off to. Pop up that rock and get these 7 or 8 entrances and an item out of the way. Flip NMG experience, getting, let's see, 1 cycle there. It's gonna be probably a 3 cycle. Yeah, the bow is a much better weapon here. It does double damage and fires off a lot faster. Koi just kind of slamming into connectors with this flute. Doesn't really matter too much. Spiral cave down.
Oh no, how is he ever going to get back? Hey, it does give him a good entrance check.
Yep. We're going to mirror and peek this top entrance here. It's nothing.
It's a really difficult entrance to get to, so I'm glad there's not something like hidden up here.
Yep, and Koi probably going to use this to pop on over to Graveyard Ledge too, because when you're in the area...
When you're in the area, it's the right time to check it.
Also, this might be the first check of what Sank is.
I Has nobody gone through here?
Not in
That's
Light
right.
World.
No, because Flipheal quit out.
Yeah.
And I think Koi did the same. Yeah.
Yeah. So the question is the bat facing or is the door facing left or right? They check it.
Door on the right, that's all the way. Door on the left, the fairy,
Okay.
and some way to rhyme with that.
Yep. So we got a Misery Mire. Nice, effectively 7-item cave. Unfortunately, it doesn't look. Koi is the fire rod. We have a little bit of stuff, but not the. Ooh, missed that cycle. Unfortunately, say it's our magic situation also isn't the greatest for using a bunch of fire rod shots on the fast Mire too.
Mm-hmm.
And Flip only going to be about 10 minutes late to those boots and mirror, so not like devastating, just a small edge in Koi's favor here. You know, it's a little bit of exploration, and most of that time was spent in Eastern, which I guess spending your time in Eastern without boots is unfortunate.
It's interesting that in the vanilla game they give you the boots for defeating Eastern, whereas Eastern is probably one of the most optimized dungeons for having the boots.
It really is. It's quite up there. Secretly, Turtle Rock is too, but not in this mode. The boots timing stuff is really weird, and I don't entirely understand why some of the dungeons are so much faster, but and some of them aren't. But people have done the math, and I trust them.
Yeah, I don't trust my math. My math is terrible.
And just
my math believes that 3 keys and TR gets you everything. So I know that my math doesn't work.
Yeah. Gets you sort of anywhere you want, but not quite. So, Flip, is this purple chest or picking up? Did we see either of them go through the paradox exit that isn't the, I believe, what, middle or bottom? Flip is going to pick up. Ooh.
Flipper's in the Mire side.
And Flip doing the thing that I secretly mentioned earlier.
The thing you said,
Yep, we have access to the well. And that purple chest is just going to hang out behind us. Don't worry too much about it. One bug net hanging out over here. And...
well, he also had an invulnerability cane called Verna. And I just saw the magic powder, and I couldn't think of the name of it. Magic powder.
Yep. If anyone ever checks where Magic Bat is, whether it's sank or not, we are... Flip doesn't really have a lot to do over this way. Just kind of turning this one in. Fortunately, the purple chest is a little more restrictive about what you can do with it than the smith. Mm-hmm. You are not really allowed to walk with it into entrances, and it will disappear, and Flip will regret doing that. Well, I guess this is... I don't know if that's actually a faster way, but I had never thought of just going through the big door without going to kill the boss. Flip gonna quickly pick this up after a save and quit. We already know what this is.
So we are over an hour into this seed. Now I want to give you, let everybody know that if you are enjoying what you see here, go ahead and give these runners a follow. And I would also like to give a big shout out to Tomalak and Liberal for being our excellent trackers who are doing all the real hard work, which is having to click all of these buttons. And also a big shout out to Arm being the probably most informed commentator that Crosskeys has ever seen. I don't want to know what his notes look like.
I do not want to put that out there when I've heard commentary from Wallkicks and Lynn, but I try my hardest to keep up with them, both in races and in the commentary booth. Flip cleaning up this flute, Koi cleaning up these entrances in logic that Flip did out of logic. Probably, well, let's see what Koi does on this Eastern Palace decision. And we're just going in. Yep, it is too bad to leave it behind.
Right, and you know, the fact that they don't have the big key is going to keep Koi from maybe potentially never coming back here and falling behind with that. Because,
And
granted, you know, they find a bottle in here.
yep. And SP man, the bow is probably one of the next things that Koi will get. It is just sitting in the Waterfall Ferry entrance, which was Checkerboard Cave, with the bow just sitting there visible in it. But Koi has not done the water checks, so
Flipheal did the water checks out of logic early on, and so it's not so much that he missed the bow, it's just he's conveniently waiting to get the bow that he doesn't know where it is.
Yep, and it doesn't really matter because neither of them have the big key, so they'll just, you know, be committing to this double dip of Eastern. Fire Rod. Flip, on 2 smalls here. Oh, Flip has an extra pod key on Koi from somewhere? Or at least did when entering the dungeon? I don't remember. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm trying to remember if Koi was able to do Harmless Hellway chest or not. Let's see. 4, 1, 2. The number of checks completed in Palace of Darkness on his tracker doesn't feel like it lines up with having done Hellway, because 4 left would be Big Chest, Hellway, Big Key Chest, and Helma. So it looks like Flip might be able to pick up another check here. I don't remember exactly where. Yep, only 2 keys when he went in. I don't remember exactly where that last pod key was, but this is just something that Koi will probably not get back to until forced to or having the big key. Eastern. That's where it was. It was right here in this Eastern Palace. That makes sense.
That math works.
Yep. Koi fluting away. Yeah, these are okay. We also
now
probably get to
those water checks.
And also these 2 entrances that we have not seen, because we have access to the mitts. Disrespectful to that green potion on single magic bar, Koi. I hope you know that.
You know, he already had one with a green potion, and he just drank it frivolously. That good potion's better off without him.
That is a huge pickup that Koi will have to figure out if... I don't know if you get back to that. That was a Master Sword in Harmless Hellway, which... logic is not relevant. That's just damage output on what the, you know, upgrade from the Dinky Fighter Sword. So that means that Koi is going to have to find all 3 other swords to have a nice Ganon fight, or all 2 other swords to get the 3 to have a nice Ganon fight, or potentially be stuck doing some janky stuff, or I guess just come back to the back of pod with the big key and clean everything up later, but that's a much later thing.
It might be the thing that offsets the boots.
Yeah, I mean, it is, you know, I could easily see that 10 minutes of boots time being made up for within, you know, a couple boss fights of Master Sword versus Fighter Sword disadvantage, especially until they pick up the hammer or anything like that. Flip picking up the flute, gonna... We are checking our last entrance and then peacing on out.
Go. So now does Koi go back to Meyer and check the other entrance that he hadn't yet?
It's got to be a very soon priority, right? It's just a giant pile of entrances with... What have we not seen? We have not seen Thieves Town. That's a nice little 4-item cave. We've seen all the 5-item caves, if I'm tracking correctly, or including Hookshot and Paradox in there too. We've seen both fairies. Have we seen Meyer Shed? Trying to think what other multi-item entrances we
We
could
have
find.
not seen Mire Shed. We have not seen.
That I think that is we've seen the dam, so we've actually found all of the multi-item caves. Okay,
Hey, look, there's Mire Shed.
moved a little over. Big key to Eastern Palace. Okay. Oh, there's a cane of Samaria just hanging out there.
Is in there, which
So
is
that-
kind of fitting. Does this count as French vanilla? Because like it was behind the Mire entrance, but it's not in Mire.
That's actually, I would count that. I'm thinking more about the fact that that means that when Flip picks this up, when he eventually finds Mire, he's just going to single dip. And there's, let's see, Thieves Town with the big key to, not one that we care about. That's a big key to Skullwoods. Put that back and never find it.
Oh,
I guess we-
come on. That'd be great to have, I don't know, Hammer stuck behind.
Well, we also have to go back there with the fire rod, so I guess it's not the end of the world to have found that now. It's just a little obnoxious. And there's this that Master Sword differential coming in. Ooh, half magic. Always nice to have. Let's see. Just sort of scanning between the two players. What are we looking for?
Well,
We are
looking for a hammer.
Definitely looking for... Are
A swamp small.
No, we could in theory finish this seed without a hammer. In theory. It involves...
we don't need to do that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Good old Specky Clip taking us through the hammer blocks and swamp. So in theory, we might not need a hammer. We'll probably find it. We do need an ice rod. We do need the Turtle Rock Big Key.
Swamp
We need...
small.
Have we found the back of Skullwoods? Don't believe so. So we need that. We need the Swamp Small. That's actually like a relatively low number of things remaining, right? It's the Swamp Small, which
a minimalist way through things. Yes, that's very true, actually.
Yeah. So Swamp Small is probably the most important one for the players, just because it locks 9 other checks. So there's a lot of logic stuff that's going to dictate where that's going to be in most seeds. TR Big Key and Ice Rod, of course, can kind of just be wherever they want to be. And Skullwoods entrance could kind of be wherever as well, but that's not like that specific. We have access to every entrance except for, let's see, Hammer Pegs, the Hammer House, and
GT, but I mean...
Yeah, Big Bomb would be the other one that's going to be really deep in logic, too. But besides that, we just have to find some connectors that would take us to the TR Bridge, and I think that's every other entrance in the game accessible.
Well, have we not seen TR Bridge's entrance? Oh, no, I'm sorry, I was flipping that around. I was like, we've been on TR Bridge, but no, I understand what you're saying now.
Yeah, the wonderful TR Bridge area that you can mirror into some entrances from. And Koi just rushing right back to Skullwoods, seeing what do we get out of this big chest, and then is Skullwoods just where it says it was in the first place?
You know what we haven't seen is Mimic Cave.
Mimic Cave, the item cave, or Mimic Cave, the
item cave. I know we've seen Spike Cave, but have we seen Mimic Cave?
I don't believe so. So this is the spiral that Koi followed way earlier. Just bombs.
Just bombs.
And this is probably going to be what puts Flip into Mire, which would actually be a pretty horrific fight if not for these out of logic holes that he has between both the yeah, he's heading on over that way. Both the Master Sword and the bow are gonna make... Oh, maybe not. This is Skull Woods from him, potentially? What are we cleaning up here? Has he... He's activated his flute. Oh, well, there's a... That resolves where that... Don't need to take that connector. It's one down, Paradox top. Okay, we're getting Sick Kid out of the way. I'm kind of wondering... I'm just, like, looking at the connectors that we have left. So there was... Have we seen... I know we saw the back side, the hookshot side of Bumper. I'm trying to remember if we saw the other side of it very early. There's the DM Descent that was at Dark Bonk Rocks. The Twins is one of the ones that I don't have marked off or remember. And then TR Main is potentially our route to that connector.
We haven't seen either side of the Twins, have we?
Nope. So just kind of marking down where our potential... Okay. So the bat is behind the climb. Yep. Where that potential connector that takes us up to the ledge could be for those 1.5 entrances. We can hop down and get the other. So Flip's still managing to dodge Misery Mire right now.
Much to his detriment, because at this point he can clear it.
Yep. I think... Let's see. We're going to take this probably just back to Village of Outcasts, as opposed to walking back out of Skull Woods, which is horrible and no one ever wants to do. Yep, this here he goes. This is the way back to Misery Mire. Okay. So Flip is gonna probably one-shot Mire here with all these entrance checks. As Koi starts working on his second crystal, Flip will be working on his very shortly.
And we'll get to see that big chest item here in Eastern.
Yeah, big chest in Eastern and big chest in Mire very shortly. Sorry, boss in Mire.
Yeah, I was fitting to say, I thought we had the big key. But yes,
Big key the first time through, but not the Samaria. Yep, so here we go.
Because that's what allowed him to get that last chest, was he opened up the big key door and hook shot it across.
Yep. So we have... What do we have bottled up? That's the real question. Because that is going to make a huge difference in the rest of this dungeon.
Well, and it's something that we haven't seen. It's either going to be the completion of Mire or the completion of Eastern. Or, you know, now that we have the flippers, getting that first check in Swamp, I don't think we've seen anybody do that. And granted, it's a terrible place for progression to be hiding, but it's also a terrific place for progression to be hiding.
Yeah, Flip's going to be right back there after this, probably, because you're never getting closer to that first check in Swamp. So I'm guessing on Flip's side, we're going to see... Unless he just decides that he's never going to touch that. But we have that, and the completion of Eastern is also just sort of like sitting right here. I guess Koi can just sort of turn around and hookshot back into Mire from right here, so could just go... I guess with the bow... Honestly, I would... If I was Koi, I would not be heading back into Mire. Flip is about to get the flippers in 2 or 3 checks. They're in the lobby of Mire right here. Yeah, if I was Koi, I would not be worrying about going back to Vitreous anytime soon. Just, like, your loadout for this fight is so bad. Like, you don't have an invulnerability item, you're on Fighter Sword, you're on regular arrows. Just do the rest of the world. Yeah, it's just going to be faster to do it later.
And the man under the bridge says, "Here's a little love."
Yep. There's those flippers. There's an attempt at the rail clip. It never works the first time. It never does. And Koi is hopping on over here back to GT for right side.
That would be a solid play.
We do have 3 GT smalls. I will be honest, I have not tracked super well how in logic they are, but it's fine to use 3 GT smalls as an indicator that you should head on over. One of them was very deep out of logic. It was flipper locked. We already have that. Never mind. Continuing on.
Well, and didn't he steal a key earlier? Did he use it?
He did not use it, so that's why he has 4 keys on the tracker.
Oh,
but
right. 4 keys in game, but 3 on the tracker.
Yep. Nice little dance party screen, getting these tiles out of the way.
You know what would make this easier is an invulnerability item. And Flip is almost there.
Yep. Oh, we have powder. It's fine. Everything's fine over here. Here I am worrying about what your health is going into the Vidi fight.
Well, he's also carrying with him, a bunch of different wins from this tournament. So, he might be carrying that experience with him.
Yeah, it's the kills get a little sketchy if you're like on this health walking into the Vidi fight with Master Sword. It's certainly doable. It's just a longer and more painful fight than if you just if he walks in with NMG experience on 10 hearts, I would expect to.
We have the book, the hammer, and the Ice Palace big key.
Ooh, and Koi using that hammer to immediately head over to the other side.
Which is an absolute smart play. You're already here.
Yep.
Wants to convert Bob right away.
We've already picked up the small key. So, yep, okay. So we're going to get some Burna dash strats here, probably. Just fire up Burna and just dash on through those eyes. Probably a little slower than the deboost spin speed strats, but do the easy thing first and then deal with them the hard way after.
We have another stack. Ganon's Tower is just chock full of stuff. We got the Sewers Key, we got the last shield, and then another sword in Stalfos' room. And we got $20 whole out of the Firebar room.
Flip probably going to be here very shortly as well. I guess shortly is a relative term. We're doing some required things along the way.
He'll definitely be here in the next 2 hours or less.
Yeah. Trying to line up the yep, this is going to be Eastern, so Crystal 3 going to be down on Flipheal's side. And Flip, I believe, picked up another pod small with that Vidi kill. That's not right. Here we go. Another pod small here. So that's
all right,
4 on each side.
So that's
still not the small key we want, but we'll get with that one later.
So that puts the... We didn't get anything out of the basement, did we? Pod?
Oh, and this sword that Flip has is out of logic, but in a way that doesn't matter because our other sword that we just pulled out of GT is in logic. So we have the 2 that could matter for anything. That's a cape that doesn't get us anywhere because we've already found both sides of the bumper and have the Master Sword for getting into the top of the castle. We also already have
Well, and it
the
sure helps with
Burna.
tile room that he's already gone through.
Yeah, the easy and lazy hold the wall strategy. Does put Spike Cave slightly on Koi's radar here, because I believe Flip has the Burna but not the hammer to get in, and now Koi has the invulnerability item and the hammer to get in.
Mm-hmm. And nothing back here.
And no need to climb because this is at Dark Flute 5, so we can re-access it basically whenever we want. Looks like Koi gonna pick off the... Is Koi gonna...
He's doing a solid map check.
We're gonna turn around. Okay, I thought Koi was going back for the one chest of Turtle Rock that is logically accessible from the back. But that might be the last thing you do after Hera.
Basement. Or, oh no, he's probably not going to do... Well, he might do the basement, but he's going to clear Hera normal first.
Yep, no big key, but it is a crystal. Uh-oh. Oh no! Did the thing happen?
Him and Hera have not been okay today. Earlier, for those who missed it,
up and not left. No.
He locked himself in the pickup room in the downstairs. When all they had was bombs, and now stop locked. The map room, yeah, that's what it's called.
Yes, as Walkick says, it's fine. For certain definitions of fine. We are recovering it pretty quickly thanks to that hammer. We don't even get to save the portal because we had to save and quit. Oh no.
Oh, hey, Koi is going to go ahead and Hera pot here in Hera.
We have definitely never seen this at all this race. Nothing ever happened. It's okay.
And also, there's no war in Bossing Say.
Yep. As you notice there, the very deliberate tap left. That happens if you tap up before tapping left. Then you are stuck in the pot forever. And have to save and quit out. So what do we got? A compass. We have a fake Sahasrara on Flip's side.
Oh, this is, we haven't seen these, have we?
Nope.
Resupply hut on the left hand.
Yeah, the tame Light World resupply hut as opposed to the scary Dark World resupply hut. Okay.
And there's one of the twins.
Where is this taking us? Flip is debating if he can go. Yep. Okay. No, he's like nope.
It's a smart
not.
thing to think about because where the places that it could let out, one of them is GT, and that you wouldn't be able to come back in.
Eggs as well would have the exact same problem.
Right.
There's not a lot of places that could go, but a couple of them are pretty scary. I don't know what I would do in that situation. I would probably go through because getting back up the castle is miserable. And did Koi leave the basement behind?
He did. Because I did not see him open that door. And that leads me to the question of, is he going to wait until he finds the big key to try to get that if he gets bottlenecked?
Yeah, I...
Slow check bad.
I'd have to remember where that Hera Small was. Was that... I guess it's probably... Was it like on Laser Bridge and now in Logic? Something like that?
I believe it was on Laser Bridge, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one of those spots where, because one of the things we're looking for is Swamp Small, it is just massively important to pay attention to logic, because one of the things with Swamp Small specifically in this mode is that...
Ooh, was it a good choice or not? It took him to Dark Death Mountain.
Okay. Let's see this. So, that's that GT. Where are we going? Oh, okay. We're going to pick up the tablet.
Because of that book we picked up in GT.
Yep. And this was in the...
I think Stopwatch room? No,
it was in Compass room, but that was with our, again, with the logic discussion, that was with our hammer, so it's not like anything in Swamp is going to be locking the book. Like, it's not like we would walk into Swamp and find 2 GT small keys that logically lock the book, because in order to do the 8 checks, you do logically need the hammer. You can't just have the game code expect you to go find how Specky Clip works and then put things that way. That would just be not quite right.
Right.
Yeah, book is not locked by hammer. Just being with hammer means that by the time you get into Mosa Swamp Palace, you would have access to the book. So, okay, so this is another crystal, so this is what? Crystal 4 on Flip side and 3 on Koi side. We've got 3 free Light World ones out of the way on both, and then Flip is ahead. The mire that he was able to single dip. Koi gonna go pick up the item from Dark Cross here. Flip gonna go pick up everything else in the basement. Answering Zaptical's question for him right here. This GT is in a horrible spot. And I think the question is whether Flip goes to... yes, Big Key to Swamp. Useless Big Key. Whether Flip goes to Crystal Roller Room or back to the Brothers Connector from here.
So what things... We still are solidly... We might not need the small swamp. Wait, hold on. I'm getting mixed signals here.
We do. We're looking Swamp Small, Turtle Rock Big, Ice Rod, and find the back of Skull Woods in... I think we now have access to every entrance in the game besides Big Bomb.
Yes.
Or at least everyone that Skull Woods could be.
Yes. Thinking of any that I'm missing mentally.
No,
I know when that comes out.
There's the hammer, Ice Big. So I would say
the Hammer House.
Yep, or Hammer Pegs. I would guess that the priority here is entrances before anything else, because you like the list of things that you have to do. The Ice Rod and Turtle Rock Big could be anywhere. The Skullwoods or the Swamp Small could be pretty much anywhere, but you have to find Skullwoods. You're going to be hunting down, your selection of entrances is basically the same any way you want. Flip letting his feelings about shields in this game be known, and he picks up the mirror shield and puts down a bomb. Magic Bat is the item behind Climb. So, players splitting up Koi. Is this a Bombos tablet rush from Koi?
I can't think of anything else that's over here at this point. Where was Ice Palace located at? He's seen it, hasn't he?
Right here. It's a mirror from here. So this is... Something is missing, the big key. Ice Palace should just be mirrorable. Oh, okay. we got some spice going on here. This is Koi making a play for the front of TR, as well as hoping. I have not tracked all of the must connects, but there's a decent chance that this has to put us out on the TR bridge. The only thing I could think of that would be, again, I don't remember if we saw the other side of Death Mountain Descent, the Dark Cave, which may also be I don't know what the Dark Caves were on the dark screens, but Koi is going to push for the front of TR here. And this is a really good play if it gets him to item caves or stuff here. Kind of dicey if you end up, like, I don't know, being able to just kill Trinex. But the problem is that our two deepest items that we'd, like, have to find, like, it's very likely our go mode is just killing Trinex. So getting these items now is probably about the same as getting them later. Right. Or better than getting them later, because killing Trinex is probably the last thing you do in the game. In terms of who is ahead, I would say Flip is slightly ahead just because of having already done Vitreous, but, like, it's very slight. It is not clear who is ahead in any kind of, like, realistic terms beyond that. Yeah, no climbing, because there is really no need or desire to do that when you can just loop back here at any time. And Flip also abandoning Crystal Roller Room. Good point from Liberal. The last thing you are going to do in most seeds is kill Ganon. Yes, that's true. That's just a cutscene, right? That's just
I would rather argue that you pick up the Triforce, but, you know, who's to say when that clock stops?
Imagine not just climbing for fun. Yeah, you should just climb. You ran back here. Why would you not just climb? It's the way back here. It's, you know, just
hey, look. It's that bridge you were talking about.
Yep. Okay, this is the one entrance that we could not access anyways, and two entrances. Sorry, we have the other dark one because we got spit out on the right side. This is a little tidbit, is that the bridge is required to have a connector to the right side. So if you ever get spit out on the left, you know that the right side is also a connector. But neither of them is what we're looking for.
Anything. We've got a fairy and a fortune teller. But
Ooh,
hey.
Yes, so this is the entrance that we could get to. Flip could, like, just be right here in about 5 seconds anyways, by just hammering over and hopping down. But this is the Skullwoods we were looking for. Flip fluting away. So, unless Ice Rod or TR Big is here, these are probably the Flipper entrances that Koi picked up way earlier that Flip is just going to clean up.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So Koi gonna do this. Again, if this is not the Ice Rod or TR Big, it's likely that Flip will be able to do this way later, not have to go to the front of TR. Or just kind of incidentally pick it up by going through to the top of the mountain. No third sword for Koi, but picking off this fight with the safe Fire Rod strats. With half magic, it's about the same as dealing with the hammer hitbox.
It depends on whether or not you connect. He did enough times.
Yeah. There's a mushroom. The magic shop is all the way over back in Palace of Darkness area.
Which, you know, at the time we said, oh man, that's a rough spot for the potion shop to be at. But at this point, some of these locations, I think maybe that's just not that bad.
Yeah, it is again a path back to Crystal Roller Room.
It's not like we're gonna save that for Magic Bat with us already having powder. Flipheal having powder already, but even still, like, that bat is far and away a place we don't want to go.
Flip working on hunting down the Skullwoods, but really not going anywhere.
You know, I would agree. Wallkicks, him saying that he's surprised that Koi hasn't done the well. But with how rare these 5-item caves have been any good.
Well, Koi is gonna. That's not the big key we were looking for. Koi is gonna go find that. This is Flip finding the other side of this bonk rocks. Okay, so I believe Flip now knows that TR kicks out on the bridge. And this is probably the Bombos check from him. So this is... Yep, Koi going back. Looks like this is time to kill Vitreous on his side. And we will kind of reach parity on bosses. So, Wallkick's mentioning the big chest of Hera thing. I think that because Koi left Small Key, or Hera Basement, he just doesn't want to be there. Like, we've already left the thing that we just don't want to do, so just let's pretend the rest of it doesn't exist.
That and his luck in Hera tonight has been atrocious.
That's true. This is this would have been a exact scenario where like you're not allowed to do not allowed to do Hera Basement because you would just stick yourself on the pegs. And Koi, okay, so Koi's play to the front of TR, about to be mirrored by Flips, doing the same thing. So we're gonna be actually just about neck and neck after this Vitreous kill. With, I don't actually know who's ahead on stuff done.
I'm gonna say that Flip has maybe the slightest of advantage.
Yeah, I guess Flip has the Tempered Sword, which is like going to add up continuously, whereas Koi doesn't have anything on that level. But at the same time, it's pretty, pretty marginal. Like this is. Trying to think, aside from the well that's being discussed in chat, like what the players have not done that the other one has. I guess this is about time for someone to take a dip into Ice Palace?
That wouldn't be a bad maneuver. First chest in swamp also is a great place to hide progression.
Yeah, Koi might be there sooner rather than later because kind of standing on top of that.
And you know, we talked about him doing the Vitreous fight with Cayman of Verna, and having the cape, I think, is a faster method, even with... Well, he was on Master Sword at this point, too.
Yeah, the spin strat is a lot... I mean, I don't want to say a lot faster, but you do twice as much damage per hit. You only hit about 2/3 of them each time, but it ends up being a little faster than the dash through.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Flip is going to even up this crystal count, and we are fluting away for Koi. We are not going to get to that Swamp 1. I guess Flip has done Smith Chain.
He has.
This is the well. There we go.
Where is Ice Palace again? Because I keep thinking...
Route 7, the dam entrance. So we
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
Allison, but
so Koi gonna be the
Here we
first
go.
one into this dungeon, which is 8 items that we can get. It's the best thing left by a large margin. Like, we're talking about, I don't know, this versus GT Climb? If I'm sort of scanning correctly, we don't really got a lot left.
I'm just
Players
saying, nobody's read Ped.
Yeah, you're gonna do that after Ice Palace, though. Flip gonna turn in this mushroom that Koi has already done. And that, I guess that's just we're doing it now so we don't have to deal with it later thing.
Kind of a run optimization.
Yeah. So...
Hey, there's that last sword.
Okay. So Koi has kind of officially caught up with that edge. Flip gonna have the butter sword, but not too much. Okay, not too much left. So we are closing in 2 items from Go Mode, and one of them is very reasonably behind the other. Swamp Small locks a lot of things.
I could agree with that. You know, we get that Swamp Small, and mind you, it could be a various chain of events. Like we could get Pod Big Key. Pod Big Key gives us Green Pendant. Green Pendant gives us a migraine. Or however that chain will work. But essentially, yeah, the small swamp and the ice rod. And we will be in Go Mode.
So, yep, just clearing on through this pendant dungeon. Flip a couple rooms behind both players, it looks like. Just, you know, have the big key so you can just rush ahead and not deal with any of the switch shenanigans. Definitely has never been a race decided by someone leaving the switch in the wrong state. Definitely not a thing that ever happens.
Only once, maybe twice. I think it was a Tuesday.
Okay, and Koi on his way to Cold Stare. Let's see, just thinking it through on both player sides. Flip does not have the Hera Big Key yet. Flip has done Hera Basement. Koi has not. Flip has done Smith Chain. Koi has not. Neither player has done Crystal Roller Room, which is accessible via the back of TR. I guess accessible via...
I think he did. Koi did.
Did what? Crystal Roller?
Crystal Roller Room, didn't he?
No, because neither of them had the Cane of Samaria when they found TR back at pod entrance. But they're probably going to get it the front way because they now have the TR big key and they can just go by the big chest and then pop on through. As opposed to going to Palace of Darkness that no one ever wants to do in their life. Yeah, definitely one of the upsides of skipping Palace of Darkness entrance is that if you have to go there, you go there with everything you would need for the entrance because you get there late.
Right.
Gold Sword gonna cleave on through this fight for Flip. You're probably not looking at a sub 2 anymore, but not too much left from this game to do.
I would be thoroughly impressed if we were.
Flip rushing over to... looks like the same check. Flip did bombos. Okay. So we are...
Triple bombs. Okay.
Okay, so this is the TRE that Koi had tried to do earlier and then gotten the wonderful text. So this is the Crystal Roller. Okay.
Oof. And that is a big chest that they were severely missing out on.
Bonk on through.
Oh, I was thinking the other roller room thing.
Nope.
Okay, that's
Okay,
that's why my brain was messing that up.
Yep. And I think, are we on to the, you know what? Just go to the net. Oh, I think, let's see.
We have everything for Thieves Town.
Yeah.
We know where it is.
4 items, slightly faster than the 4 items that no one really wants to talk about. We're going to discover what each player's preferred dash line is for this horrible way over here. I'm just watching. I don't even know what the right way to do it is, but there's some innovative spots on the Meyer map that you always learn about. This is Koi going back for Spike Cave?
Not sure where he's headed. I would have assumed he was going to head to Thieves Town, but not Thieves Town. Yeah, where is he headed?
This is the Spike Cave that we saw a million years ago.
Okay.
Which is fine. Like, we were the closest we were probably ever going to be again to this, so, you know, no reason to not. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Okay. That's a pretty big pull. That is an ice rod on Koi's side and a pretty... Oh, wow. That puts Koi in Swamp Small Go. That's huge.
That is a very, very, like pepper jack built spicy meatball.
So the worst part of that is that, no matter, like,
We did pick up
Flip
silver.
finds the Swamp Small, he's just gonna lose, like, 3 minutes full clearing Swamp, yeah. Yeah, that's huge for Koi.
You know, and it's one of those single item checks that it's often overlooked. But Pink, it was in Spike Cave,
Located at Dark Shopping Mall, which you are going to get to basically never.
especially because it has already been the shopping mall has already been looted.
Yep, we have already killed the Armos Knights that were located over there, so... Okay. Basically, every check that Flip does that's a small key is, like, if it's the Swamp Small, he's doing the most efficient stuff, so it's very likely that, like, that would be game-ending, I think. If he found Swamp Small, it would be really tough for Koi not to end up there. Obviously, Flip doesn't know that, but... We are going to be on, well,
and we're doing 2 separate bosses that we haven't seen on either side. And
yeah, one of them slightly more required, which is this Trinex that's going to explode. And also, let's see, dueling bosses, we've got small key to Dark Palace.
Oh, I was ready to believe that was going to be Swamp.
Okay. So, that puts us one step closer to being able to pull Ped without going into Swamp. Because it was sort of likely that the Pod Small or the Pod Big is in Swamp, but now we're just down to one item that could be locked there. Looks like Flip is this a climb?
I just don't feel like somebody would climb without checking the first chest in Swamp.
Oh, this is the mushroom. Okay. I might climb without checking the first chest in Swamp. It is pretty bad to get back to Swamp, and, like, the climb is relatively free to access. Like, I would guess that per check, the climb is about as efficient. Okay, so this is Terror big for Flip. Yeah, Wall Kick's mentioning that Flip is, again, in one of those spots where he's as close to Spike Cave as he's ever going to be, so this might be the time, if anything. Yeah, this will route into Spike Cave unless... Okay. The disaster for Flip is if that is the small key to Swamp. Where's this going? Oh, this is Swamp 1.
Let's go! You can maybe combine this with a ped check flip, and we'll cover all our bases. Oh!
So what do we have left for Flip? Sort of staring at the available tracker map for him. Looting away. And this looks like a climb, is my guess. Yep.
Ped is not dead.
Yeah, Ped, if we find the pod big, climb, spike, and Ped is all Flip has left. There is no Flip has not checked pod vanilla big key chest. I don't think anyone has. And I'm trying to think if there's a couple entrances that we left unchecked, but not thinking that there are, just scanning.
I can't think of... Because we've even seen hammer pegs at this point.
I think the only well, no, I'm just counting TR smalls, but we could, run a big bomb on it over, but without a fourth TR small, I am very hesitant to do that here.
Mm-hmm.
So, climb is 5. The worst 5 you can imagine.
That's true. Magic Bat could hold the answers.
Flip, you can tell he's played a bit because he has turned off silvers for the climb when that was a pre-fast ROM thing. I think the question is really, I think Flip is ahead on checks, but Koi, it's like, when does Koi get to the right checks? Yep, this is the pod checks for Koi, which will be this and then Gold Sword in the back.
And it does one of the things that is always interesting about Rando as a whole is sometimes it just comes down to who picked off that one random check first.
Yep. That is the random element. So we've got okay, so this dungeon, we're getting all the small key. This is just how it always works, right? The last big key or the last small key you need is the one that you pull. So Flip going through all the other ones. Nope. And ooh, Moldorm just being a big bully today.
Boy, comes out of pod a little butterier, but still with no swamp small. And it looks like this is him doing the ped check.
Smith chain potentially too.
Oh, yep, Smith chain. Smith chain it is.
Or potentially, oh nope, just off the pad. Or what are we doing up here? Have we?
Oh, has he seen the back entrance, or the Skullwoods entrance back here? He has, right?
I thought so. Oh, this might be Swamp 1.
Fair enough. That seems almost exactly like where he's headed.
Got the Agatu before the bat.
Oh,
Ooh.
that was a rough hit.
This should clean it up though.
Just the way those split. You hate to see it.
Yeah, the Agaphyte is... Agatu is probably the secret hardest fight in the game. This is just bad for Flip.
Yeah, no, they're right. Zap is right, because if this is the Swamp Small Key, then Koi's going to get it immediately, and that still pushes him further away from Dark Shopping Mall.
Yeah, if this... I mean, this is it. Pod Big Key would be great for Flip here. Oh, that's so bad for Flip. Yeah, that's probably... We'll see, but I have... Let's see, he also has to kill an entire Trinex? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough spot.
I'm surprised that portal didn't bump.
I actually have a slightly different surprise. I don't actually know if this is faster than, like, hookshot and running around. Pretty close. That's true. We are still in the range of potentially a Ganonfall covering a lot of the time here, so there's always the chance.
Always a possibility, absolutely.
Now, Trinex is in the worst possible location, which is Pod. Your other option is to go to Swamp Palace entrance and walk all the way through from east, so that's bad. I don't think it gets better than doing that.
Ooh, man, this has been a nail biter, and it's amazing to see these racers come through the way they did. And you know, if you enjoy watching this kind of race, you could give both of these racers a follow, and you know, you'd be able to catch them whenever they go live and see amazing races just like these.
Yeah. They will be playing at least 2 more weeks of this. Probably more in at least one of their place. Probably, potentially both. Because Koi or Flip, you know, still in the running for the play-in race after this. On both sides, actually, regardless of who wins.
Yes, there's a chance that one of them, or there's a good, significant chance that one of them may end up in the, what did you call it? The Great Disaster, I believe?
Great Disaster, the play-in race, where all the players who are sitting at 6 and 2 in the tournament.
Play-in race was the term I was trying to think of way earlier in this seed.
Yep. Yeah, so that is that the way that this tournament is set up is that there is a 16-player bracket that plays off for being in the you know, the eventual champion, but because it's Swiss, there's no guarantee that there's a clean cut of 16 players. So what happens is that everyone who is sitting on 1 loss or 0 losses gets into the bracket immediately. And then however many slots are left, everyone who has 2 losses has to play a single race at some predetermined time, where The top, however many slots are left in the bracket, make the bracket, and everyone who is not finished by then is out. It is a fun race to watch. Usually, when it comes up in, I don't know, 3.5, 4 weeks, is you can see like all 15 to 20 people in someone's various restreams at the same time. Allison, I will allow you to make the decision about whether you make the play-in race and then have your fellow admins scold you for making the wrong one, but that's a different story.
It is a very restream heavy day, and it's very interesting because a majority of the time that I watch these, I watch them on YouTube, and it is absolutely hilarious because I'll watch one that's the play-in race, and then the next day I'll be like, oh, hey, look, I'll put on a Zelda race. And it's the same race. And I like, it's my favorite time of year because I get to determine how long into the seed do I go before I realize that it's the same seed I watched yesterday.
It can go a while in some of these. The routing gets pretty weird in a couple of these. You know, we did see the runners pretty much mirror each other's early game here. That's just because the seed was kind in that way. Koi about to find the Swamp Small, which will be en route to
specific mode. If I'm not mistaken, it's go mode.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
And Flip's gonna be diving into the left side of Swamp where no one ever really wants to be, finding nothing, potentially heading off to Helma. This is
and at 2:08:45, Koi enters
Yep.
mode.
Yeah, that Ice Rod in Spike Cave at Dark Shopping Mall, kind of the nail in the coffin here this seed. Flip going for a fun little swag strat, unfortunately unable to get the hookshot clip off there where you can hook onto the pod if you do things kind of exactly right. And where are we going, Koi? Got Swamp on the way up, and then we will be able to flute over, I guess, just save and quit to Link's house and rush up to Ganon.
Yeah, more than likely.
What did Left Side Swamp have in store for us?
Money, my favorite.
And a heart. So, Flip going to mirror, and this is probably a Helma into Saha. Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
That's
No, yeah, even doing Spike Cave right then, it's a lot, because getting back to TR and killing Trinex is so much time this seed. And here's that one pod check that we know is a compass. Koi just kind of cruising on back here. Has silvers, has butter sword, has red mail, nothing you could possibly open in the chest.
Could be that fourth bottle. I know that, oh no, actually.
No.
Can't be.
He left that behind.
Because we left it behind. That's right.
He did not want that. Yeah, and from Flip's perspective, this is a 4-check Palace of Darkness. This is a lot of stuff.
Yes, very much so. And are you including the concept of getting the green pendant, and that's an extra check?
Actually, it's 5 checks, because we also get the pedestal.
Oh, man. Yes, you're right.
Fortunately, I think that this race will be over before we pull the pedestal, so we may actually see the pedestal contents in the credits before we see them live.
A commentator can dream.
Yeah, great call from Tummeltuck. The logical ped is still live. There could be ATR small. Yep. So Wallkick's bringing up a scenario where if Koi wins this, which it certainly looks like he is in position to do so, there are going to be 3 players at undefeated next round. Koi, Zelgadiskan, and Skelly. And 2 of them will play each other, and then 1 player will be paired down into the 1-loss bracket with people such as Wallkicks in the chat, myself somehow. Yeah, it's gonna get interesting. So pairings is, this is the last race of the week. Pairings for the next round should be up very shortly after this, because Allison is in the chat and going to press the pair round button after inputting results.
Is that why we have so many wonderful folks in the chat?
I'm sure there's other reasons, but there's also Allison just hanging out here, so that might be why. Grinding XP, okay. So we've got Koi through to phase 3 already.
And cooking that bacon clean.
Phase 4 incoming very shortly. First shot down. We go for Torch Glitch for the safer fight, as opposed to the more aggressive Catch Ganon in the middle strat. Oh. We're good. We have 9 arrows. The one thing that can go wrong on the Gold Sword Silver fight is that you run out of arrows, and we did not do that. And with an official race time of 2:14:20-ish, we have Koi finishing in first.
Throw your GGs in chat as Koi is looking at himself, or covering his face just in shock and awe and probably stress relief.
Yeah,
get him in here for a quick interview.
Yep. These seeds, when they go this long, are just scary. There's no other way to put it.
And I would like to say, if I'm not mistaken, we may still get this pet check on Flipheal's side.
Yeah, before the credits. That's a hard container.
That's gonna be him putting in the towel.
Yep. Oh. The tough race.
Oh man.
Tough.
So Koi does move on to be 6-0. Flipheal is going to sit at 5-2. This does mean that at the very worst, Koi is in the play-in race.
That is correct.
This has definitely been an exciting.
Why do you think I opened the room, Koi?
I don't know. I just I got home with like 5 minutes to spare. I opened Discord. I had a ping. I clicked the race room, joined the race room, and then set up my stream. I didn't know we were being restreamed. I would have turned my alerts off. Nobody said anything.
The Cookie Monster had more than enough to say for all of us.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
What a seed, Koi. Yesterday I asked a very solid question in your chat, and it was, I was looking for somebody who was undefeated in this tournament. And I'm glad I finally found you.
I'm not supposed to be, though. This is abnormal. It's a fluke. I swear.
6 flukes. It's a whole school of fish.
I thought it was Koi. I didn't realize it was fluke. I'm not a fishologist. Well, that joke. Anyway, so what? It's a good. Also, we have Flipheal here.
GG.
GG.
Good game to you both. Wow. Thank you for checking Ped right there at the end, Flipheal, because the chat needed to know, and they were not willing to wait for Koi's credits.
Oh, it wasn't the last. It was, yeah, it wasn't the ice rod. I mean, I know where it is now, at least.
Yeah, it's one of those locations that's tough to get back to there.
Oh yeah, Spike Cave, like, it was so out of the way.
It just basically, I literally, as I was like almost to Eastern, I was like, maybe I should have done GT and Hera first, just in case I find a hammer, and then, sure enough, yeah, just that's just so hard for me to get back to the way I routed it.
Oh yeah, I didn't have the hammer either when I found it the first time. It ended up being like the end of a route where I did like Bombo's tablet, and then checked the big key lock checks in TR, and then swam over and did it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I basically fake flippered there before finding GT the first time. So then when I had to go back to GT the second time, I figured I would do Eastern and then go there, and yeah, just unfortunate sequence of events. But yeah, ugh. How about that boots logic, huh?
Yeah, that was fun. You didn't kill Aga, did you?
No, I was almost considering it. It almost would have been a net time save because I did have to. We had the fake flipper twice, and then if the bomb was required, it almost maybe would have netted. But yeah, I didn't.
I only did it once.
Okay,
just one current jump. It was because it was a desert small in the front in the hope chest, and then that led to mirror, and then that's boots.
Yeah, but then you had to go back for I guess no, we had flippers by then. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
I guess I just meant like the second time we went back over there.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I got to the hammer like super late because I didn't want to have to go back over there without it. But it ended up just being like I swam over and did Eastern and then swam back up to the pod area to do GT. And look, all the things.
Yeah, you're both relatively in sync in terms of picking up stuff. Like Flip was a few checks behind, had done a couple things before that, but not like gone off on any real adventures, just kind of inserted a couple things in the stack.
And it really was getting over to Spike Cave with nobody knowing where Swamp Small Key was. We knew that if it fell along Flip's route, then it was going to be the thing that would not let him get the ice rod in time. I would say that like there was a sword advantage for Flip for a short while, but it was kind of eaten by the 10 minutes of boots advantage that Koi had. So
yeah.
Realistically, y'all were neck and neck.
Yeah, pretty much exactly at parity, a check here or there on either side up until the ice rod kind of turned it all around.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate too. Like literally after bat, I was like, okay, after bat, I'll do Spike Cave, but then Swamp Small. It's like, okay, I guess I better do Swamp over that, right? And then it just got silly.
Yeah.
So you just found him in the wrong order. That's the problem. You're supposed to find the ice rod and then the Swamp Small.
The one question I had is both of you had deviated from doing Crystal Roller from the backside a couple times despite being in the vague area. Was that just a check that you didn't want to do, you wanted to do with TR Big the normal way, or?
I don't think I had the cane when I found Laser Bridge. Did I?
Neither of you had it the first time, but there was like the second GT trip. Your route ended, or like when you got Hera.
No, I'm not going all the way to the pod entrance for one item.
Yeah, okay. Just refuse it.
It's a sell, especially once you get the hammer, right? It's like, okay, now I have entrances, ice. If you haven't been there, it's just like there's just so much more to do.
Yep, makes sense. It's just one of those things where like you're on the same screen, so I was kind of wondering, it's like, is it ever going to be faster? And the answer is, I just refuse to do that. That's a totally reasonable one.
Yeah, it's just too far to go to and then come back from. I think, and the goal, right, is to go to the big chest entrance with the big key and the ice rod, and then just avoid having to walk to the pod entrance altogether.
Yeah, it's about the same amount of time ish if you're like going through from Crystal Roller the other way versus like hammering in and running. But yeah, it's kind of just the worst possible place to find TR back. It's just right there.
So, are there any opponents that both of y'all are looking forward to facing next week?
No.
This being the last race of the week, there have been people, everybody's excited to see the new rollout. I've got to say, this has been one of the first few times I've commentated, and it has been a nail biter from start to finish. And that's all I really had. I think you guys answered all my other questions.
All right, who can I even get? It's like Specky and somebody I can't remember.
So the other undefeated players are Zelda and Skelly.
Right.
However, there's a chance of being pared down into the 5-win bracket, featuring Humbug, Gamachu, Specs, Wall Kicks, Goomba, Dr. Mardio, Andy, Ikir, Gilgamesh, Norsk Maddie, myself. It gets scary at this point of the tournament in the 0-1 loss bracket. Oh, Furious Magic as well in the 1 loss bracket. Jeez. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would say I'm screwed, but I said that this week too, and the last week, and the week before that. I really don't know why I'm 6-0. I shouldn't be 6-0.
Hey, no matter what, you're ready in the play-in, so you just got to win one more in 2 weeks. That's pretty good.
Yeah, there you go.
I just want to briefly comment on how annoying Desert Right was at King's Tomb, because like we knew Desert was a crystal early, but I was so ready to like at least scum the key to see if there's anything important in there. And like just imagine being able to do that and then having the mirror out of logic early. Like the seed would have been so much better, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I had stolen the key, but it's not something I usually go out of my way to do. It's more like if I'm just ending my route and I happen to be sitting there, and then I'll do it.
Yeah, that's basically what happened to me too. I got the pearl, and I was like, I might as well check this last entrance, and then it was like, well, nope, never mind.
Yeah, once I saw it was a crystal, once I knew it was Desert was a crystal, and I had the big key, like I wasn't gonna scum the key at all, because like you always kill the boss, but you only sometimes to the right side.
Yeah, I said I was only gonna scum it if like I could death warp, you know, kind of like like I said. Rarely actually helps, obviously, when it's a crystal, but this definitely would have been the seed for it. But
yeah, it would have been nice. It was definitely a long trip over to East Dark World for that Desert Small.
So it looks like we do actually have next week's matches posted up.
Oh, we were the last one.
You were, and you are playing Zelda next week.
Oh, sweet.
And Flip, do you want to know your opponent, or do you want to find out yourself?
Hit me.
I regret to inform you that you have a Survivors of Hyrule team kill pending. You versus Tam.
Oh, yeah, this is the first time I've played one of like my Vamps Discord buddies in I think Crosskeys in like 3 years, so that's interesting. Not the way you want to do it, but yeah, that'll be fun.
I would offer to trade, but I don't want to go up against Tam either.
No, there's no winning in either of our teams, honestly. I was gonna say too, like the X2 is like there's so many like the X0, X1, but like just the X2s, it's just so many scary people this year.
Yeah, I'm scanning as well, and yeah, it's not an easy bracket for sure. Not an easy part of the bracket somehow. I think we have how many former champions are now in that bracket? Like I guess nope. All the ones I can think of are actually in the X1 bracket, except for Schulzer, who has started off like 1 and 2 and then rallied back. Yeah, this is yeah, the tournament gets scary at this stage, no matter where you're sitting.
Well, I do
Yeah.
know that the real winners out of all these pairings is definitely chat. The audience gets great matches from all the time, and it is a wonderful opportunity to get to watch these great runners.
Thanks, chat.
Yeah. So if you, the racers, don't have anything else to finish with, I think we can kick it over to Tummeltuck. Thank you so much for having the restream set up. Thank you so much to the Liberal for helping out with that and tracking. And yeah, Tummeltuck, take it away.
Mhm. Thank you guys for a great race. Koi, sorry I didn't tell you that we were restreaming you there. Did that help the nerves or make them? Or didn't do that?
No, it wouldn't bother me. Just like now I'm thinking back and like how many pop-ups are on the screen from people like resubbing and stuff.
It's whatever. I could have popped it and said something if it really mattered, so don't worry about it. All right. So thank you both for a great race. Arm, Blank, thank you guys for coming. Blib, thank you for helping me track. Chat, thank you for coming out and watching. I'm going to do what I always do and send you guys over to the otters, and then we're going to get out of here. So you guys all have a good rest of your day.
Really quick, if you'd like to volunteer to commentate, track, or something of that nature, please, there's a Discord. Hop yourself in there, and, we always need more volunteers.
Good plug.
Thanks, guys. GG's.
Yeah,
Good game, y'all.
GG's. Thanks for the comms, restream, tracking, and good luck, everybody. Take care.